We're now going to be joined by Dr. Lisa Thompson. She's a best-selling author, galactic ambassador, and creator of Infinity Healing Method. We're getting to experience a lot of modalities today that are channeled by different individuals, so it's pretty cool. Dr. Lisa Thompson is a globally recognized leader in multidimensional awakening who has helped thousands of individuals activate the highest potential and step into the soul-aligned purpose. She's best-selling author, speaker, and founder of Infinity Healing Method. As a galactic ambassador and multidimensional channeler, Dr. Lisa communicates with 13 higher dimensional ET races, primarily the Arcturian Uluru, bringing through transformative galactic wisdom and healing frequencies to support humanity's ascension. She's a lifelong experiencer of extraterrestrial contact. She serves as a guide for those ready to awaken their soul's highest calling, shift timelines consciously, and fully embody 5D consciousness. Her teachings help you clear energetic blocks, release limitations, and unlock more of your unique spiritual gifts so you can live with greater clarity, purpose, and power. Lisa, good to see you.
Good to see you, Neil. Thank you so much for having me.
You look great. You're radiating.
Oh, thank you. It's quite early here in Hawaii, so I'm not quite.
It is. Yeah. I like your ET in the back too.
Yes, that's Zanaya, one of 3 that I have.
Is that is from a specific race?
It's a Zeta, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for being here. And this is your debut presentation on Portal to Ascension. So we're ready to receive your transmission. Let's do it.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you. I had an opportunity to watch most of the presentations yesterday, and I just was watching Tamara, and just so much beautiful wisdom coming through. So, even though we are all connected to source and we are all multidimensional in every aspect, today I'm going to really focus on the galactic aspect because that is what I do as a galactic ambassador. So before I get into the journey that I want to lead you on in a little bit, I just want to give you a little bit of background as to how I got into this work, and understand a little bit about who I am. So as Neil said, I am a lifelong experiencer, contactee. So I have been with multiple groups throughout my entire life. And I grew up in a little bit different of a household. In 1986, when I was 13, my mother, Aunt, and I, we started attending a spiritual school of enlightenment. And for those of you who are perhaps old enough to remember, it's actually the Ramtha School of Enlightenment. So that was back in 1986. And that's when I really started learning about how multidimensional we really are, and that we are all connected, that we all are God within us, and that we create our reality. So for almost 40 years, I've been working with this kind of information. And so that was 1986. In 1988, when I was 15, I had my first conscious contact of being taken onto a craft. And the situation was quite a bit different than what a lot of people experience. I was taken to Io, one of Jupiter's moons, and toured around what looked like a hospital facility. And the beings that were inside of Io, they didn't look like any other beings that I've ever known to be described by anyone. And that's a whole different story. So I'm not going to go into that. But the beautiful thing about this experience was that I was being toured around and I got to have a conversation and understand like why we were being taken there, why I had been with them throughout my childhood and beyond. And when I returned, though, I was in my bed and I'm thinking, okay, that's the weirdest dream I've ever had. And so for a few months, I really did just think, okay, weird dream. That's my 15-year-old brain. Then I was reading Whitley Strieber's book, Communion. And for those of you who have read that, it's about his experiences of being taken by gray ETs. Well, that was not my experience. But at the end of his book, he is interviewing different people. And one of the people he was interviewing had a completely different story from the others, where he was telling Whitley he had been taken to a moon of Jupiter and told he was one of the chosen ones. And actually, I had been told that too. But Whitley made a little side comment that I interpreted sarcastically, saying, I hope it isn't Io. And as soon as I read that, head to toe chills, tears started coming down my face. And so that was my body's way of telling me that was a real experience. So my mother and I, again, were part of this spiritual school of enlightenment, learning about higher consciousness, things outside of this 3D earth reality. So I knew if I told her, she would believe me. So I did. And a few days later, she introduced me to one of the other students at our school who had formerly been very high government, who knew about the different ET races that our government knows about and works with. So I shared my story. And when I got to the part of describing what they look like, he was like, I don't know that race. But he said, we don't know all of them. There's so many out there. But for me, that was really what planted the seed for the work I do now as a galactic ambassador, because I didn't have to go through my life thinking I'm crazy, that I made it up, it was just a dream. But I also was like wanting to fit in. And this, again, was in the 80s. So, back in the day, people thought you were crazy if you talked about ETs or spacecraft or anything like that. Now, I wanted to be normal and fit in. And so my first career, I actually have a PhD in marine biology, zoology, evolutionary biology from University of Chicago in the Field Museum. And in grad school, I was sharing with my fellow cohorts, my experiences with the ETs, my understanding of Sasquatch and dragons and mer people. They all thought I was crazy. So I learned, okay, I got to keep that part of myself shut down to be taken seriously. Well, I was a professor, but academic life ended up not being a good fit for me. It was just too confining in the box. So, little windy career path in mortgage and then interior design. And then it was 8 years ago that I had this thing come across my path to get trained as a past life regression therapist. Now, at the time, I had no reason to do that because I had my interior design home staging business, but I was like called to understand this aspect. I had been learning about multidimensional reality, but this was a way that I got to experience it and truly embody it at a deeper level. Because not only was I working with my clients, but I was having my own experiences of parallel lives. Now, traditionally, we do call it past life regression, but at the quantum level, there is no past, there is no future. All timelines are existing simultaneously. So I'm changing that to parallel life regression, just moving forward. Then I'm starting my practice of doing that. And then in 2018, I was taking a psychic intuition class for several months. But the first night of class, the teacher led us through a meditative journey to meet a spirit guide that would help us get extra information. Now, I had already met some different spirit guides, humans and animals, but this time was completely different, where I went to a different realm. And in front of me were the most beautiful blue-skinned beings, like large bald heads, skinny bodies, but they exuded the most pure love I have ever felt in my life. And their message to me was, you are one of us, we are one of you, we are family. And they gave me a gift of a crystal. And then, even though there were a group of them, there was one that was to the front that was the spokesperson. And the name that was given to me was Uluru. So even though I had had experiences throughout my life, I hadn't gone down the different rabbit holes of ET races and what they look like. But there happened to be a lady in class who knew the different ET races. And she was like, it sounds like either the Arcturians or the Blue Avians. So I go home and I Google what that is. And when I saw the images of the Arcturians, it's exactly what I had seen. So then I knew, okay, that was actually real, but I didn't understand like why. Why am I meeting these beings? And then over the course of several months, then I also met my Andromedans, I met my Blue Avians in that class. But I was still trying to be really normal. I was living in Olympia, Washington, simultaneously running my design company with my spiritual company. And 4.5 years ago, I moved here to Hawaii, to the big island of Hawaii. And when I got here, that completely changed my trajectory in terms of what I was going to do with my work. So I would be looking at the night sky and I would see all of these spacecraft just popping out. And I I let my design company go and all the masks came off. And I decided, okay, I'm going to fully step into this. I'm going to start a UFO tour business under my spiritual business and teach people about the ETs, the galactics. And so 4 years ago, I started my tour company under the spiritual business. I was sharing the stories of my own experiences and about the information. And then because I was sharing that, then I started writing my stories. And then my Arcturians, they were like, hello, we want to start channeling through you. And growing up in a spiritual school that had been channeled, I was hesitant, but eventually I opened that channel up. So in 2022 is when I allowed that to come forward. And so what was really interesting was pretty soon after I started channeling Arcturian Uluru, I realized that is me. That is me. I'm just channeling myself from this realm. And then I started understanding like who Uluru was. So as Arcturian Uluru, I am a master healer in that realm. And that quartz crystal that was given to me is sending healing energy down here from that realm, that dimensional frequency realm, to me as Earth Lisa. I'm receiving it, and then that heals me, but it also goes out to my clients and to Earth. And so when I realized, oh, it's just me, and I'm channeling this frequency, and I had my light language activation in 2021. So then the energy was coming forth even faster and stronger. And the more that I realized this and was really embodying it, it just more and more came online. So then at the beginning of 2023, they were like, okay, it's time to bring in some of your other groups. And so over a period of a few months, I led 13 different sessions to channel 13 different higher dimensional galactic races, so including the Arcturians. And what I realized was, okay, this is just me. I am just channeling myself from these different realms. And the more that I really integrated that into my life, the more powerful it became. And it wasn't scary at all. I mean, I didn't have any fear of the galactics anyway, because I haven't had any like bad negative experiences. And I know even if I had, that would be a soul contract agreement. But I'm, I'm channeling these groups, sharing their beautiful messages, because the ones that I am operating with or dealing with are only in fifth dimension or higher. So they understand love, unity. And so then in same year, 2023, that Arcturian healing energy was already coming through me. And then my Syrian healing energy and my Mantis healing energy started coming through me as well. And so with those three different galactic races, the infinity healing method was born. And so really it's something that me and my team, who is actually just me from these other realms, we have birthed this method. Now, in 2024, it was actually November of 2024, I was part of an ET diplomacy conference that Neil was actually a part of, and I think I put on. And so I was one of the speakers for that. There was another lady that was a speaker, and she had me on two of her podcasts. The one that she has a co-host with, and this is where it gets a little wild. So I was on this podcast. Her co-host I had never met. She didn't know anything about me. And in the middle of the podcast, she was like, I recognize you. I know you. And so this lady, Jen, she remembers her life as a Lyran during the time of the Orion Wars. So a period in our galactic history, simultaneously existing right now, though, as the Orion Wars. And so she's like, you're Arcturian. I said, yeah. She's like, you're a healer. Yep. She's like, I wrote about you in my book. And so after the podcast, she sent me her book. And I'm getting to the part where she's writing about me. And I thought it was just going to be very generic, like, oh, this Arcturian healer. But no, it was very specific. Arcturian Master Healer Uluru, spelled correctly. And so when I read that, again, my body responded with chills, full body chills. And so then, since November of last year, we have done some regressions on me so I can remember that life more fully and understand, like, why is that life even coming up, right? And so what I realized, and what's so interesting is that, so Jen and her co-host Tanis, they have other people that they have been meeting that Jen was writing about in this book from the time of the Orion Wars. And we're all coming back together again. And we all have very similar traits to the avatars, costumes that we were wearing in that life. You know, as the Arcturian, I was a healer. Now, as Earth Lisa, I'm a healer. In terms of understanding biodiversity and having love for all forms of life. That's something that Arcturian Uluru had very strongly. And that's something that I have had throughout this life, which is why I needed to go into biology for my first career. And so anyway, so this Orion War type of life, it's bleeding through into this life. And why is that? It's because we are at a major precipice in Earth's timeline. We have the split. Some people say it's a split. Really, it's all timelines are existing simultaneously. So we do have realities where Earth is, you know, ascending into fifth dimensional reality, and some of us are helping to usher that in and go that way. Others are going to be on other timelines, staying in the fear polarized reality, and there is no right or wrong in any of that. But so what I was realizing and remembering, since this is the great remembrance, is that okay, so there's a reason why these different galactic lives are so important to me as Earth Lisa in this time. Now, as we are ascending into this higher frequency vibrational reality that we call fifth dimension, when we get to that point, we're going to have open contact. Our galactic family, our galactic community, they are waiting for us to be ready to experience them. And so that is something that I now know that I'm here to help bridge, thus the galactic ambassador. And so anyway, the reason why I'm sharing these different aspects of myself. So I've been able to experience different Syrian lives, you know, again, 13 different galactic races that I've really been able to remember. And there are many more. Like, we are infinite beings, but we all have these galactic aspects of ourselves. And we're at this beautiful time in Earth's timeline, I guess we'll call that, where we will have open contact within our lifetime. The estimate is perhaps as early as 2 years from now, perhaps up to maybe 20 or 30 years. You know, again, who knows, but it's there. The energy is there for this. And so the more that we can prepare ourselves and get over any fear that we might have of these beings, that some of them look like us, some of them don't look anything like us. And so if we can start really accepting that we are these different beings and we have these different forms, these different costumes, avatars, whatever you want to call it, that is when we can start accepting other things that don't look like us. And so really what I want to do with you guys today is lead you through a journey to meet one of your galactic aspects of yourselves. Okay, and why also is this important? Well, some of these beings, they have gifts and abilities that you can then integrate, you can embody into this human life to make your life even better. Just like I have with my different healing abilities, bringing in those energies, and then also understanding things from that higher perspective to really understand that love is the basis of everything. Really knowing that the polarity that we experience as third, fourth dimensional reality here on Earth is simply a mechanism of evolution. It helps us learn, grow, and evolve. There really is, at that higher perspective, no right or wrong, no good or bad. We are infinite beings having infinite expressions of ourself. And so we are all multi-dimensional in so many different ways. So even let's think about this human life. Think about all the things that you have experienced. So for me, this human life, 4 careers, 3 husbands, 2 kids in my 52 years of life. I've lived a lot of different lives. Also, we've lived infinite number of other Earth lives where we've lived in other locations, other time periods. We have our galactic lifetimes that we've lived that we can tap into. And then we have all the other kind of lives, the energy lives, the elemental lives, being crystals or trees or any of that. We have all of these aspects of ourself. And so really tuning in to, okay, which one do we want to activate? Which one do we want to embody? So all of these lifetimes, they are existing simultaneously at the quantum level. And because of that, we have the ability to tap into any of them and to get the wisdom from those different aspects, those different lives. So if you think, I love the analogy that they have given me of a disco ball, because I love to dance and even disco. I love disco music. So if you think of a disco ball, think of the disco ball as source. All the different fragments, the mirror pieces, are the different aspects of ourselves, all connected. But when the light's refracting off of those mirror pieces, then we have individual pinpoints of light on the floor, the walls, the ceiling. Those are our different expressions, our different avatars that we're wearing. But ultimately, all of those are us. And so really, when you start to remember that you are everything, then you understand, okay, there really is, you're here to live this human life. You're not here to bypass it, but we can remember, we can call in these different aspects of ourselves to really have even a greater earth life here. And so, again, just like me, you have galactic expressions of yourself, and this enhances the human life. It doesn't bypass it. So what I would like to do now is I would love to take you on a little journey. We can call it an activation, meditation, whatever wording resonates with you. And so while you're there in your chair, I invite you to close your eyes and to get as comfortable into your seat as you can. We're going to take a journey to meet one of your galactic aspects. I want you to take a nice deep breath in and hold at the top, and exhale as deeply as you can, releasing any tension that you're holding on to. Taking another deep breath in, holding at the top, and releasing. One more deep breath in, holding at the top, and releasing. Still with your eyes closed, I want you to see a beautiful white sparkling light energy above your head, And it's coming down like a waterfall, washing over your body from your head down to your feet, moving into the center of the earth. And just keep running that white light, washing over your body. And any tension that you're holding on to in your surface muscles is being dissolved into this white light energy to be flushed into the center of the earth. Now seeing the top of your head opening up and seeing that white light energy pouring down into the top of your head, moving down through your body like a river, down and out through the bottom of your feet into the center of the earth. And just keep running that white light through your body. And as it's moving down into the top of your head, down into your jaw, your neck, your shoulders and arms, down through your chest, your belly, your hips, down through your legs and out through the bottom of your feet into the center of the earth. This white light is clearing away the blockages. It's removing the debris. It's shining light in all of the dark places. Any tension that you are holding on to is being dissolved into this white light to be flushed out through the bottom of your feet into the center of the earth. We're going to do a quick balancing of the chakras. Starting at your root chakra, the base of your spine, I want you to see red spinning energy. And I want you to see that red spinning easily, freely. Moving up now to your sacral, a couple of inches below your belly button. And I want you to see orange spinning energy. And that orange is spinning in perfect harmony with the red below it. Moving up now to your solar plexus, to your stomach, seeing the yellow spinning energy. And that yellow is spinning in perfect harmony with the orange and the red. Moving up now to your heart, seeing the green spinning energy. And that green is spinning in perfect harmony with the yellow, the orange, and the red. Up now to your throat, seeing the blue spinning energy. And that blue is spinning in perfect harmony with the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red. Up now to your third eye, seeing the indigo spinning energy. And that indigo is spinning in perfect harmony with the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red. Up now to the top of your head, to your crown, seeing violet spinning energy. And that violet is spinning in perfect harmony with the indigo, the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red. Now, from an observer perspective, I want you to see all of these energy centers lit up like a rainbow. Energy moving up and down the spinal column easily, freely. Once again, open the top of your head and see that white, sparkling source light energy pouring down into the top of your head, moving very easily down through your body and out through the bottom of your feet into the center of the earth. Now opening up your root chakra and allowing that recycled white light energy from the center of the earth to come back up through the root, meeting the light from above in the heart space. The light from above meets the light from below, intertwining in the heart. And now focusing on that heart, seeing the green energy. And I want you to see that green energy expanding out beyond your body, pushing it out further into your room, expanding that green energy out beyond your house, expanding that green energy out into Earth's atmosphere, pushing that green energy out further into the solar system, pushing it now out further into the galaxy, and now pushing that green energy out as far into the universe, time, space, and dimension as you can imagine. You are sending out the love frequency, the universal law, the universal language, and only that which is of love can come into your space today. Now bringing that green energy back into your body. And now I want you to see your body as vibrating cells, trillions of golden vibrating cells, vibrating together in perfect harmony with each other. And I want you to see those cells vibrating faster and faster to create a golden energy body. You are much more energy than you are physical. And now you're going to go inside one of those cells. You're going to go inside the nucleus where the DNA resides. And you're intuitively now going to go to the part of the DNA that is ready to be activated to increase your connection with your galactic selves. You are now at that place in the DNA, seeing that beautiful double helix spiral. And I want you to see the DNA pulling apart to create a space. And on the count of 3, you're going to see a golden white flash move through that open space. 1, 2, 3. Golden white flash moving through the DNA to activate it. Closing the DNA back up. Pulling yourself out of the nucleus, out of the cell. And now once again, seeing that golden energy body. Now, as you're this golden energy body, I want you to see yourself inside your Merkaba, the doubled tetrahedron pyramids. So we have the upward facing pyramid, we have the downward facing pyramid surrounding your body. The upward facing pyramid, I want you to see that now to start spinning clockwise. Just see that pyramid spinning clockwise. And now the downward facing pyramid, I want you to see that spinning counterclockwise. So these pyramids are rotating against each other, creating this spinning effect. Your body is its own spaceship, spinning faster and faster. And now I want you to see your body inside of this spinning Merkaba, moving through time and space. And now you're landing inside of a room with 2 very comfy chairs facing each other. And you've landed in one of these chairs, the other one is empty. And I want you to just sit there being curious about who the other chair is for. So in this room with these 2 comfy chairs, there's a door over to your right. I want you to look at the door, and I want you to, as clearly as you can, see what color this door is, what material maybe it's made of. Even if you feel like you're making it up, just go with it. Now, as you're looking at this door, there is a gray shimmering mist that's starting to form around the door. The gray mist is safe, just being curious about it. And now this gray mist, it's starting to get thicker and thicker. And now it's starting to twirl all around the room, twirling all around your body. But this mist is safe. It's like a warm, cozy blanket. And through this mist, the door is opening, and one of your galactic aspects is now coming through the door, through the mist, sitting down in the chair. The mist is still thick. The mist is now starting to get a little bit thinner and a little bit thinner, where you're starting to make out shapes in front of you. And on the count of 3, the mist will be clear, and you'll be able to see clearly who is there with you. 1, 2, 3. The mist is clear. You have clear vision. Don't judge what you see. And even if you feel like you're making it up, just go with it. Who is in this chair? What do they look like? Perhaps it's one of your galactics that you have met before. Perhaps it's a new one. Take a look at where their head is. What does their head look like? Do they have any hair or not? If they have hair, what color is it? Take a look at their eyes, the window to the soul. What do their eyes look like? What color are they? Take a look at where their nose and mouth would be if they have a nose and mouth. What do these look like? Just try to take in all the details that you can. Take a look at their body. Do they have any clothing on or not? I want you to now look deep into their eyes. And I want you to feel the love that they have for you. So much love. They are so happy to be here with you today in this space, to connect with you. Now, they have a message for you. This message may come through words that they speak. It may come through images, through telepathy. But I want you to receive their message now without judgment of what you are receiving. Receive their message now. They also brought a gift for you today. I want you to hold your hands out and receive their gift. Feel it in your hands. See it as clearly as you can. And I want you to ask them, what is the purpose of this gift for you? What is the meaning of this gift? And receive that answer now. I want you now to ask if they have a name that they want to be called. Some of them will, some of them won't. Some names are very easy to understand. Other names can be more challenging, but receive their name if they have one to give you now. I want you now to ask them where they're from. Is it someplace that we know from our Earth perspective? Or is it from somewhere beyond what we know from Earth? And receive that answer now. I want you now to ask them from their perspective what your soul mission is for this Earth life. And receive that answer now. Once again, I want you to deeply look into their eyes. And I want you to see yourself in those eyes. The chairs are close enough. You're able to hold their hands. Your knees are touching if they have knees. And now I want you to see those two bodies vibrating in a higher frequency. The cells are merging together. Their body becomes your body. And as their body merges into yours, You now access all of their wisdom. You access all of their gifts and abilities. You can see things out of their eyes from their perspective. So with this now galactic self that has merged with your human self, what do you wish to know? What's a burning question that you have? And I want you to ask that. And I want you to receive the answer from that perspective of this galactic self that you've merged with, without judgment. From this perspective, I want you to understand what gifts or abilities this galactic self has that is now a part of you. Perhaps it's something that you already had as your earth human, but this will enhance it even greater. It might be a new gift, a new ability. Trust whatever answer comes to you. I want, with this body that's merged with yours, it's fully integrating into your earth human avatar. You are one and the same. Your DNA is activated by their DNA inside of you now. You are fully anchored into this galactic aspect of yourself. You can tap into the wisdom anytime you choose. Knowing it is always there. Now I want you to just spend a moment feeling this new body, this new aspect of your multidimensional self coming online. And receiving any last words of wisdom from this realm. Trusting whatever you get without judgment. Still being merged together, you're one and the same. We're going to bring you back now to this time and place, counting backwards from 5 to 1. 5, you're coming back, knowing that you have met an aspect of yourself from the galactic realm. 4, you're coming back knowing that this is a part of who you are. It has activated your DNA as this earth human. You have the gifts and abilities, the wisdom from this perspective that you can always call on. 3, you're coming back knowing you have infinite number of selves that you can connect with and tap into. Every one of you is a multidimensional being having these different expressions. in these different lives. How beautiful is that? 2, you're coming back into your body, starting to wiggle your toes and your fingers. And now 1, fully back into your body, shifting in your seat and opening your eyes when you're ready. And as you're coming back, if you want to share what aspect of yourself that you met in the comments, if you were able to experience any of this, and you always have access to the replay if you want to try it again. You might meet a different aspect of yourself. So as you're coming back, just know that you truly are a divine being. Remember, we are all connected to Source. We are just different expressions of that Source. We are infinite in our multidimensional reality. And the more that we can understand this from our human perspective, it makes life a little easier here on Earth School. We can be more in flow, and we can start trusting ourselves that we have the wisdom within us. We have the beautiful ability to heal ourselves. All of this is accessible to us. So it looks like a couple of you got to experience Mantis. Mantis is one of my favorite aspects of myself. And anytime you actually see a little on Earth insect praying mantis, just know that that is a connection to your mantis realm in the galactic world, in the interdimensional realm. So we have an Andromedan, we have an Arcturian. Beautiful. So there are infinite number of lives that you have. And the more that you tap into these lives, again, the grander this Earth life gets to be. And there's absolutely nothing to fear. Even the beings that operate in a lower frequency, there's nothing to fear. You are in total control. Nothing can go against your power, your control. So we have another Andromedan. Okay, well, I'm so happy that those of you that are sharing were able to connect. And again, what's really fun about this, I mean, it's fun, right? Let's play. Let's experience these other realities. And again, not to bypass this Earth life, but to enhance it. So I know we're coming somewhat to the end of our time here. One of the offerings that I have is actually a multidimensional awakening kit, which is a 5-piece high vibe meditative journey, different journeys. Part of this, in terms of understanding our multidimensional reality and shifting to our highest timelines in this Earth life, is really clearing away the judgment of ourself, the fears, the doubts, the guilt, the shame, the perfectionism, really returning to the love of ourself, which Tamara was talking about right before me. Really self-love, that is the key. And the more that we can return back to that place, then the more that we can have this love and compassion and empathy for others, knowing that we are all on our own unique soul journey, and there is no right or wrong, really. I know there are some people who would disagree with that. That's okay. But we're all on these beautiful journeys, and we're here at this time to remember who we really are. We are so much more than this one earth life. So that multidimensional awakening kit has the 5 meditative journeys. It also has an ascension workbook, and that's available at awakenactivatenow.com. I also, on my website, have a Wisdom of the Galactics activation series that I'm really excited about. So this is 14 different sessions to really connect you with those 13 different higher dimensional galactic races that I have been able to experience and embody myself. And that's just a little starter to who all is out there. You know, again, we have infinite number of galactics that we can connect with and beyond. We have our angels, our elementals, our fairies, you know, all the different things. It's just, you know, happen to like my galactics in this life. So that Wisdom of the Galactics activation series, it's on my website, and I do have a very special coupon code for that. And so you get all 14 sessions for only $47 when you use Save 300. So, and I'll, when I get off here, unless, yeah, I'll put the links in there. So Neil, I know I'm coming to the end of my time here. Do you have any questions?
No questions, but definitely gratitude. Thank you so much for that. Just to reflect on a couple things that you shared. You know, first you started off with that with the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of shifts, and 2027 to 2030 seems like a good window for a lot of things to happen. And I feel the same way. And I say often that, you know, I'm not into dates because so many people have made predictions,
Yeah.
but there's definitely something ramping up when it comes to also like the spiritual world and then the mainstream disclosure world merging into one, and even information leaking out from what you would consider nuts and bolts about the understanding of the spiritual connection to our star family, you know.
Mhm.
So I feel like, yeah, and by 2030 there's a lot of quote unquote nefarious intentions by 2030, and but that timeline I don't feel we're going through. So
Yeah.
part of the correction of that is a true disclosure of what and who we are. So within the next few years, there's going to be a lot of changes, and so I love that you brought that in. But as I say often, it really comes down to how do we accept and become the stewards of this new world is only by doing the inner work to release, right? So you were sharing about self-love and compassion, and it's interesting how self-love and compassion has everything to do with open contact. You know
It
what I mean?
absolutely does. It
Yeah,
does. And I know a lot of people really love to focus on the government disclosure and all of that. And yes, that helps people who are maybe skeptical understand, okay, yeah, it's real phenomena. But we are our own disclosure. We get to have our own personal contact experiences. So even if open contact doesn't happen for a few years or way down the road, you can have your own contact now.
exactly. And your website again is it awakenactivatenow.com? That one right
So,
here?
so that is the one for the Multidimensional Awakening Kit, free gift. And then I'm also at drlisajthompson.com and BigIslandUFOtours.com. So if you're coming to Hawaii, come on one of my Big Island UFO tours.
Beautiful. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you
Yeah,
for everything. Take
thank you
care.
so much, Neil.